The brand new Lexus GX is the definitive off-road vehicle from Toyota or Lexus.
What? No, it isn't, Tommy. What about the new Land Cruiser?
Okay, well, the new Lexus GX is one of two definitive off-road vehicles from Toyota and Lexus.
Well, what about the new 4Runner that's coming?
Okay, the Lexus GX is one of three.
Okay, how about the Sequoia and the Tacoma?
Okay, guys, here's what we're getting at. Lexus, Toyota, they build so many off-road SUVs and trucks. And in this video, we're gonna try to figure out where does this new GX Overtrail, the off-road version, fit into the lineup.
So let's do this, Tommy. Let's give them a quick overview of what this is, and then we'll talk about the other Toyotas and Lexuses that are off-road worthy. So you want to take the camera here and kind of start with what makes this much more off-road worthy than the previous GX.
Now, the Overtrail is a special trim of the GX, right? So you've got premium, you've got luxury, you got a couple different plus versions, but the Overtrail is the one you want if you want to hit the trail. And the first thing you notice visually that differentiates the Overtrail from the standard GX, let's talk about the tires, Dad.
Yeah, those are specific Toyos that were designed just for this car. And we're looking at a size of, I lost the size, no, there's 265, 70, 18. So you've got a lot of sidewall here, you've got sidewall protection, and of course, you've got a tire that is, let's say, off-road ready.
It is, yeah. Now, 33-inch tall tire. It also sits about 0.93 of an inch further out backspacing than the standard GX. So they had to incorporate this little black plastic flare. That's an easy way to differentiate a off-road trim versus a standard version.
Now on the hood, you've got a new design which has better sight lines, but you've got these two binnacles, kind of these two humps, and they're unusual because they line up with the wheels. And why is that important?
Well, it's kind of like a reverse hood scoop. So they want to give you a sight line so you know where the edges, the corners of the vehicle are, but then they purposefully cut out the center portion for better visibility up the front. And also on this Overtrail, the bumper's different.
Yeah, this part is actually removable, so if you hit this on something, you can actually remove it, swap it out without having to basically replace the entire front fascia.
And they said that that's the area that typical off-road enthusiasts are going to hit rocks, right, on the approach angle. It's got a better approach angle, by the way, than the standard GX. It's tucked up a little higher, but this is designed to be hot swappable. Well, now, Dad, one thing which is a little concerning to me.
Are they FJ-style review mirrors?
No, those are really cool.
I like those.
Nice and square, and they're very tucked in. It's actually that front end, Dad, is I think going to be a little challenging to upgrade to like a winch style bumper. So it's not a very modular design. You got one piece of formed plastic from left to right. Just like that current generation GX, you're probably going to have to do quite a bit of trimming to add a winch capable front end to that design.
Now, one thing that they did do is they changed the rear tailgate so that now it does this. It actually swings up instead of swings open, you know, like a barn door, and that is for, according to Lexus, for better all-weather protection underneath here.
Yeah, definitely, which is cool. The little glass portion also pops open. So if you don't want to have to lift open the whole rear gate, you can just simply push a little button and pop the glass open. Now, Dad, let's talk about something really interesting here. I'm going to give you the camera.
Okay.
So I want to compare how this vehicle fits into the lineup of Toyota Lexus family with some specs. So I've gone ahead and compiled a bunch of specs. So total length on the GX, 197 inches. That's about 4 inches longer than the upcoming Land Cruiser, and it's a full 7 inches longer than the current 4Runner. So it is a pretty sizable vehicle.
And Tommy, right here in my pocket, I actually have the spec sheet, and at the end of this video, we're going to tell you how much this costs, which will kind of let you know where it fits in with all the other Toyota/Lexus off-roaders.
Now let's talk about the powertrain.
Yeah, it's a big change. Remember, guys, the old GX 460 had a 4.6 liter V8 that produced about 300 horsepower that was known for its reliability. Well, since this is a body-on-frame vehicle, sort of kind of built on the same chassis as the Tundra, it has a very Tundra-like engine.
And what you mean by that, Dad, is this is on the TNGA-F platform, which underlies several Toyota vehicles like Tundra. So twin-turbo V6, 349 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. Now let's compare that to this vehicle's sister car, the upcoming Land Cruiser. So that vehicle is going to be at right around 326 horsepower. That uses that 2.4 with the hybrid technology, whereas this GX 550 is a twin-turbo non-hybrid.
Also, you've got a 10-speed automatic
You want to talk about the current 4Runner? 270 horsepower, naturally aspirated, 4-liter, 5-speed automatic. But we did hear from one of our inside sources that the new 4Runner is going to that 2.4 system that we're going to find in the Tacoma, as well as the 2.4 hybrid. So look, folks, this is kind of the top of the heap of the Toyota lineup, horsepower and torque. Now, of course, if you want to get a little bigger, a little bit more luxurious, there's also the LX Lexus, which is even more than this, but that really doesn't come available in a true off-road trim.
So before we talk about the price and before we talk about the really staggering number, and that is how much it tows, why don't you jump inside and let's show them the inside and show them all the off-road goodies, because there are many, Tommy.
Oh yeah.
There are many off-road goodies, starting with kind of these more bolstered seats that are unique to this model. And Toyota says that so when you're off-roading, you have a little bit more stability.
Yep, 100%.
Should I say Lexus, sorry?
Lexus.
Yes,
Yep,
Lexus.
there you go, Dad. So, look at this interior design, right? It's very premium, a lot more premium than the Land Cruiser. I've spent some time in the 24 Land Cruiser. It's a little bit more basic. You also get a much larger standard screen. So I think the Land Cruiser is an 8-inch standard. This vehicle, you're going to find a 14-inch standard display, which is a lot more elevated looking. You also get a lot nicer quality material, like these little suede inserts, right? These little, I like in this one, these green suede inserts feel nice. The stitching feels nice. The shift boot feels like a more premium place than either the Land Cruiser or like the 4Runner or even the new Tacoma.
Oh, well, here's something new, Tommy. Of course, you've got off-road cameras, and one of the things that the cameras now do is they show you what's underneath the vehicle.
Yeah, as you drive along, it'll create a display of what you're driving over. Now, from an off-road capability standpoint, Dad, this is some exciting stuff. So obviously, if you want to scroll here, Dad, you want to show...
Yeah, I'll give you a camera. You can...
Yeah, check this out, folks. Try to get some of the sun glare out of here. Oh, that just made it worse. So, oh man.
All morning we've been shooting. It's been cloudy, and of course, the second we start showing the interior, we're getting sun glare.
So you got all your usual modes, but you also now have multi-terrain select, which you can activate in high range versus low range, where you had to be in the old one. And then, check this out too, Dad. So multi-terrain select, downhill assist, and crawl control. But this is the big change from an off-road standpoint over the 23 GX, center, and a rear locker diff on this Overtrail. So that's great. Now, Land Cruiser comes standard with the rear locker. Obviously, 4Runner, it's available in TRD Off-Road and TRD Pro trims. But look at this too, Dad, a full-time four-wheel drive. So just like the Land Cruiser, it's a full-time system. In the 4Runner, that's available, but most of them are going to have a part-time system, and of course, high range and low range.
Now, the normal GX, Tommy, comes in a 3-row setup, potentially. On this one, you only get the 2 rows, which gives you a lot of room behind the second row.
Yeah, lots of room, exactly right. I do think that's a little bit of a miss, Dad, that you can't get a 3rd row in the Overtrail. I think a lot of people want to go take their little ones deep into the woods.
That's what the Sequoia is for.
That, yes, you're right. And that's the tricky part, is there's so many different trims on vehicles in the Toyota Lexus lineup.
Yeah, which begs the question, like, where does it start and where does it end price-wise, right? So is the 4Runner going to be the new entry-level Toyota off-roader, and then you work your way up to, I suppose, the Land Cruiser, and then maybe the Sequoia, and then you jump up to the Lexus, and how do you differentiate all those vehicles? Because they're all really great off-roaders, and yet they're so close to each other.
Well, you want to take the camera.
Yeah.
I actually went ahead and compiled all the pricing.
All right, let's talk about that. We don't know some of the pricing yet, because obviously the new 4Runner isn't out yet, so we're kind of guessing at some of this.
Yeah, so this 24 GX starts at about $64,000 and can extend all the way up to about $84,000.
And I'll show you what this one costs in a second.
Big delta. Now the Land Cruiser 24, we don't know exact pricing on. Toyota said starting in the mid-50s, and I would imagine that would top out right around where this vehicle starts. So like 55 to 65, let's say that for now. We obviously don't know for sure. 4Runner currently starts at 40 and goes up to about 57. So there's a pretty good step up in price. And then Sequoia, depending on trim, will fall somewhere in that range, right? New 4Runner, we're not sure. I'm guessing it'll probably start at 45. So here's what I predict. New 4Runner starts at 55. New Land Cruiser starts at 55. GX starts 65.
I think you're right, Tommy. And now the sun's gone down. You want to show them the different modes so you can actually see what's going on?
Yeah, we can show that. I do apologize for our run and gun approach here, folks.
Yeah, but we're trying to get as much information out to you as quickly as possible so you guys can be the first to see what the heck Toyota and Lexus have done with their new off-roaders.
That right there, by the way, is a 12.3-inch cluster screen. So there you got the different on-road modes. And if you push multi-terrain select, you can also cycle through the different off-road modes: sand, mud, dirt, deep snow. Really like the graphics on that screen too. I think it's a very attractive design. All right, what you got there, Dad?
So here I have the spec sheet for this Overtrail, and starting MSRP, basically $76,000. That's a lot. This one has the bi-tone paint. That's a $350 option. You want to show them the cool box?
Sure. Is it in here?
Yeah, it's in here. Look at that.
Ooh, check that out.
Cool box.
Cool
yeah.
box.
Yeah. Oh, that is really a cool box. Put your hand in there. You'll be really surprised.
Oh yeah, it's got some pretty cold AC blowing there.
Yeah, I would definitely pay $175 for that. The heads-up display is $900, Tommy. The tonneau cover is $110. Traffic jam is $620. Dealer processing and handling $1,350. We get to a bottom line number of $79,400, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And especially considering that this competes with cars like the Defender, probably the new Ineos Grenadier.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could also potentially cross-shop this with something like the Grand Cherokee 4xe, right? That's also definitely in the segment.
I just think Lexus has hit this out of the ballpark. You know, they have really taken a vehicle that once upon a time was kind of a second or third owner off-roader and made it into a very desirable first owner vehicle that you can go overlanding in or you can take off-road and not feel too worried. Because let's face it, the problem with the Lexus was it was always a little too delicate, a little too luxurious, a little too expensive to off-road. This, I feel like I can actually confidently take off-road and not worry about breaking expensive things.
Well, I don't think the old one was delicate. It was super robust, but I just had so much low-hanging plastic regardless of the trim. And now Lexus realized, why don't we just offer that off-road trim without having to visit someone like Toy Tech or whoever to really upgrade the front-end design.
That's a free shout out there to our friends at Toy Tech.
Yeah, you're right. Good point.
All right, guys, we are doing wall-to-wall coverage of the new GX. If you head on over to All TFL, you'll see a comparison. You want to show them the comparison we just published?
Yeah, we just did the old versus the new. Hopefully we'll have an interview with the chief engineer as well, where we'll get into like the EKDSS system, how that works, why that's important, and a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and we're also going to do, of course, a driving and an off-road review. Those videos are all coming, but you know, we make you a promise, guys. You saw it first at TFL, and I think in this case we're trying to fulfill that promise. So thank you very much for watching. And Tommy, we shall see you guys when?
On the next episode.
Ciao.
Bye. What was I supposed to say there, Dad? What was?
I was hoping you'd say ciao, but
all right.
you left that to me.
Bye.